They thought $400 would shut her up. But Sophie Cunningham didn't just pay the fine. She flipped the entire league on its head. In a game where the refs ignored yet another cheap shot on Caitlin Clark, Sophie snapped. One foul, one fight, and suddenly, she wasn't just a player, she was a legend. The WNBA tried to punish her, but they accidentally handed her a multi-million-dollar spotlight. And what happened next? No one saw it coming. Caitlin Clark isn't just the face of the WNBA. She is the reason people are watching. In just her rookie year, she changed everything. Networks couldn't get enough. Fans couldn't look away. And opponents? They couldn't stop hitting her. In 2024 alone, Clark drew 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire league. Let that sink in. One rookie, playing just 40 games, absorbed 12 out of 70 flagrant fouls. That's not a stat, that's a target on her back. And the physical play hasn't slowed down. Kennedy Carter's infamous body check denied Carrington's eye poke. Elbows, shoves, bruises, and barely a whistle from the refs. Every game became a war zone, and fans started asking the same question: why isn't the league protecting her? But it gets worse. During the 2024 playoffs, Carrington's eye poke forced Clark out temporarily, and the Fever lost their shot at the title. Fast forward to 2025, and Clark missed multiple games in June due to what's rumored to be the accumulated toll of constant, uncalled abuse. The fallout? Devastating. Ratings crashed 55%. That's not a typo. From nearly 10 million viewers per game to under 4.5 million overnight. Ticket sales tanked. Arenas emptied. One absence exposed the truth. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA collapses. And yet, the hits kept coming. June 17th, 2025. Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun. With just under a minute left, the Fever had the game in the bag, up by 17. But that's when it all blew up. Sun guard JCS Sheldon, Clark's old rival from the Big Ten, delivered a cheap eye poke, sending Clark stumbling. No whistle. No flagrant. Just silence. Seconds later, Marina Mabrey escalated it, shoving Clark to the floor right in front of the officials. The result? A slap on the wrist. Technical fouls for Clark, Mabrey, and Tina Charles. A flagrant one for Sheldon. That's it. But while the refs were busy doing nothing, someone else decided she'd seen enough. That someone was Sophie Cunningham. With 46 seconds left on the clock, Sophie Cunningham stepped in. And she didn't hold back. She wrapped up Sheldon, pulled her to the ground, and sent a message the entire arena felt. Benches cleared. Players shouted. Chaos erupted. Cunningham, Sheldon, and Lindsay Allen were all ejected. The refs finally woke up, but it was way too late. The league responded with what they thought would be a punishment. A $400 fine for Cunningham's flagrant 2, and a vague, additional fine for her role in the fight. But here's the part that nobody expected. Sophie didn't apologize. She stood at the podium and made it clear. It was a build-up. The league hasn't protected the star player of the WNBA. So I'm going to protect my teammate. That one sentence turned her into a hero. Coach Stephanie White backed her. Fans exploded online, calling Sophie the enforcer, the protector, even a superhero. The WNBA tried to penalize her, but instead, they accidentally created a legend. And that $400? It might have been the smartest investment of her life. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's the WNBA's meal ticket, and the league knows it. In 2024, her presence alone drove a 170% spike in viewership. Her games averaged nearly 10 million viewers, dwarfing the league's overall average. ESPN couldn't get enough of her. Neither could fans. And ticket sales? Up 30% league-wide. In Indiana, her home games were sold out 90% of the time. But when Clark sat out in June 2025 due to injury, everything crashed. Ratings dropped by more than half. Ticket sales for non-Fever games fell off a cliff. Headlines blamed the absence, but the truth was undeniable. The WNBA is dangerously dependent on one player. Unlike the NBA, where LeBron or Curry can take a night off and fans still tune in, the WNBA lives and dies by Caitlin Clark. The other stars? Talented, sure, but they don't pull numbers like this. And yet, she's not protected. Opponents continue to foul her hard. Refs continue to look the other way, and the league's silence is louder than ever. That's what Sophie Cunningham saw, and that's why she acted. Before June 17th, Sophie Cunningham was a solid veteran, gritty, physical, respected by her peers. But after that night, she became something else entirely. She became the enforcer. Her $400 fine didn't hurt her, it launched her. In just 48 hours, her TikTok following skyrocketed from 400,000 to 1.2 million. Her Instagram, up 350,000 followers overnight. Her Fever jersey, sold out within days. Fanatics had to delay restocks until July 8th. Marketing experts estimated that kind of social media growth would normally cost over $1 million in brand investment. But Sophie did it with one foul and one message. If the league won't protect Caitlin Clark, I will. And it gets better. Her sponsored posts, once worth $10,000, are now reportedly going for $20,000 or more. Brands are lining up. Adidas, Quest Nutrition, more in the pipeline. Her off-court income is projected to triple by the end of the year. But what makes this moment even crazier? She didn't do it chasing fame. Sophie's been about the fight since day one. She's a black belt in Taekwondo, earned at just 6 years old. That toughness, it's not an act, it's who she is. And now, she's using it to protect the biggest asset the league has. But the ripple effects? They're just getting started. The WNBA wanted to find Sophie Cunningham and move on. But instead, they exposed something bigger, a system that's been broken for years. This wasn't just about one foul. It was about years of missed calls, ignored injuries, and a culture that seems fine letting its biggest star get beat up every game. Let's be real, the numbers don't lie. In 2024, Caitlin Clark took more flagrant fouls than any other player. 12 total, in fewer minutes than league vets like Aya Wilson or Breanna Stewart. This season, the trend hasn't changed. Elbows, shoves, grabs, it's all still happening, and most of it goes uncalled. Even the Washington Post admitted it. The WNBA paint is a violent place, and refs are letting too much slide. Veterans like Alyssa Thomas, Jonquil Jones, and Chindy Carter have all made headlines for hard contact on Clark. But suspensions? Rare. Upgrades to flagrant? Usually after the fact. That sends a message, and it's not a good one. Players see what they can get away with. Refs stay quiet. And fans, they've had enough. Even respected coaches like Becky Hammond have spoken out, saying the league's tolerance for too much bumping, too much grabbing, is setting up exactly this kind of conflict. The WNBA can't afford this, financially or culturally, not when its future is tied so tightly to one player. And yet, they're still pretending a $400 fine solves the problem. But fans know better. So does Sophie. The WNBA tried to send a message, but the only message anyone got was this. Sophie Cunningham just played the league at its own game and won. While the league fined her for unsportsmanlike conduct, fans were calling her a hero. On social media, a petition to ban her gathered 388 signatures and backfired spectacularly. Cunningham's name started trending. Her TikTok lip-synced to Selena Gomez's Hands to Myself went viral, pulling in 1.2 million views and praise from influencers like Joey Swole. Comments flooded in icon, legend, W Protector. Her brand? Booming. Jersey sales flying off the shelves. Endorsement opportunities exploding. And all because she did what the league wouldn't. Stand up for Caitlin Clark. And here's the kicker. She's not the first to benefit from Clark's spotlight. Just look at Kate Martin. Barely a blip on the stat sheet in 2024, yet she outsold Aya Wilson in jersey sales. Why? The Clark halo effect. But Sophie took it further. She didn't just ride the wave, she became the story. And while the league scrambles to recover from a $40 million loss in 2024, Cunningham is turning a foul into a financial empire. She did what the WNBA couldn't, monetize the moment. One play, one foul, one statement, and now she's laughing all the way to the bank. It's easy to buy into the idea that the WNBA is in a golden age. TV deals are up, arenas are louder, and more people are talking about women's basketball than ever before. But strip back the headlines, and you'll find a truth that makes the league incredibly vulnerable. This entire boom is riding on one person's back, Caitlin Clark. Think about it. Of the 21 WNBA games that drew over 1 million viewers in 2024, 18 of them featured Clark. Not Aya Wilson, not Diana Taurasi, just Clark. And when she's off the floor, that magic disappears. Interest drops, ratings tank, even ticket sales crash. It's not a gradual decline, it's a free fall. The league loves to say it's a team sport, that it's about building the brand, that there's parity and progress. But when 90% of your high-performing broadcasts involve the same player, it's not a coincidence. It's a dependency, a dangerous one. And here's the twist. This isn't just about Clark's scoring or highlights. It's about presence, about star power. She commands attention the way few athletes ever have, male or female. She's got the charisma, the story, the fan base. She's the only WNBA player right now who makes casual fans stop scrolling. But all of that success comes with a cost. Because when one player becomes the product, every hard foul, every injury, every no-call feels personal to fans. And when the league fails to protect her, it doesn't just feel unfair, it feels reckless. They built a house on Clark's shoulders. The question is, how long can she carry it? There's a quiet war going on in the WNBA, and it's not between teams. It's between generations. While the media hypes up Clark's arrival as a win for women's basketball, many veterans don't seem as enthusiastic. And it's not just about the spotlight. It's about the shift she represents. Suddenly, rookies are making more from endorsements than seasoned all-stars. Fans are showing up for one name. Jerseys are flying off the racks, and they don't have Stewart or Wilson on the back. They say Clark. That's a tough pill to swallow if you've been grinding for a decade with little recognition. And it shows. Just watch the games. The fouls aren't always malicious, but they're constant. Screens that look more like hits. Arms draped across her shoulders. Elbows accidentally caught under the chin. The veterans are testing her, and the refs are letting them. What's worse is the silence. Few speak up for her publicly. And when they do, it's with half-hearted acknowledgments about rookies needing to adjust. It's the same coded language used when leagues want to maintain power structures, without saying it outright. But Sophie Cunningham didn't follow that code. She broke ranks. When she took that hard foul, she wasn't just standing up for Clark. She was calling out the whole system. The hazing, the silence, the earn your place mentality that punishes anyone who rises too fast. That's why the veterans were uncomfortable. Sophie didn't break the rules, she exposed them. Watch how quickly the media flips its tone. When Caitlin Clark takes a hard hit, the coverage calls it physical play. When she's knocked to the ground, it's brushed off as rookie growing pains. But the moment someone like Sophie Cunningham pushes back, suddenly, it's a problem. Dangerous. Unprofessional. A stain on the game. The same outlets that profit off the hype of Clark's rivalry with players like Angel Reese are the ones scolding Cunningham for reacting. And it's no accident. The media loves controversy, but only when it fits a clean, marketable narrative. Cunningham didn't fit that narrative. She wasn't polished. She didn't smile through the drama. She dropped someone, and then doubled down in the postgame. And that kind of raw honesty, it doesn't play well with leagues trying to craft a sanitized brand image. But that disconnect is part of the problem. The league wants to sell emotion, toughness, and drama, but only in controlled doses. As soon as it becomes real, they panic. They find players. They walk back statements. They try to erase the moment. But fans aren't buying it anymore. They saw what happened. They saw Clark get hit, again and again. They saw the refs ignore it. And they saw Sophie say enough is enough. The media might try to reframe the story, but the internet remembers everything. When Cunningham hit the floor and made that foul, she wasn't just making a play. She was starting a movement. Fans, especially younger ones, don't follow teams the way they used to. They follow people, personalities, energy, moments that feel genuine. And what Sophie did was about as real as it gets. Within hours, her social media exploded. TikTok edits, YouTube clips, memes calling her WNBA's Batman. One viral tweet said it best. Sophie Cunningham is doing more for the league than half its marketing budget. People related to it. Why? Because they've seen what Clark's gone through. They've watched her get hammered game after game, and they've watched refs look away. Sophie's response wasn't just physical, it was emotional. It was human, and fans responded to that honesty with loyalty. Now parents are buying their kids her jersey. Teenagers are stitching her into TikToks. Brands are tracking her engagement. And fans who had never watched a full WNBA game before, they're invested now. Loyalty like that doesn't come from points per game. It comes from moments that feel like someone finally said what we were all thinking. The WNBA handed out a $400 fine, thinking it would calm things down. Instead, they created a moment that reached millions. They tried to silence Sophie and handed her a platform. They let Clark get pushed around and got exposed for it. Now Sophie's a household name. Clark's star power is only growing, and fans are no longer waiting for the league to act. They're picking sides. And here's the twist. The enforcer and the star, they're on the same team. And if the WNBA doesn't figure out how to protect its future soon, it might be Clark and Cunningham rewriting the rules.